Yo, dudes, let's lock in with this Why Skylanders Died video that was made a year ago, but I am still curious on what this is because I've never seen it, and your boy actually loved Skylanders as a kid. So let's lock in, let's enjoy, and let's have some fun. And if you didn't enjoy Skylanders, I don't really know why, other than like I've heard some personal reasons which have to do with the character design, specifically Spyro. But respect to that, it's just Skylanders was just shit. So I love Skylanders. Let's go.
Skylanders was a groundbreaking game that broke into the industry seemingly overnight, complete with a flood of collectible characters and a
We got, this was my favorite girl to use, but they don't have like my top tier, bro. Where they at?
concept unlike no other. Skylanders was proudly
that
held as
Bowser?
one of Activision's greatest franchises. But after only
There she is. Hey, the Blade Girl, baby. She was I always mained her, bro. She was the bomb. When the Bow Girl released, I was hype.
6 years, the series has quietly vanished from the public
Spyro does look
along
kinda
with
dumb.
most of its competition.
Oh,
Were these
dude,
games just a
Infinity, bro. Oh, that shit's actually on computer.
fad that got too large for its own good, or was there something else at play? What happened to Skylanders?
Well, I mean,
the story starts
PC.
a long time ago in 1989. Around this time, a
Damn.
company called Toys for Bob was established by Paul Reach and Fred Ford, a couple of young friends who had worked in the gaming industry for years prior. Their first title was 1990's Star Control, published by Accolade. Initially, it only released for the Amiga and MS-DOS.
It's crazy how far back like these stories go. Like you play a game that was made in this certain aspect or this certain era of time. For example, Skylanders, which is more like related to I think like 2000 and like he said 10 or like 15, 2010 to like 2013 era is when it was like I think 2010 to 2012 era is when it was like made, right? Or was it like or later? I don't know. Did he say 2013? I don't know. I wasn't listening too well. But the point is, it was made in a certain era, and then it relates back to a further back gaming story because it started from somewhere. It's so interesting to know that. Like, there's always a history.
But was ported to the Sega Mega Drive and other systems a year later,
Sega.
ultimately turning out to be a success with 120,000 copies sold
damn.
and the creation of a sequel.
Hell
Star
yeah.
Control 2 expanded on the original and was a smash hit, winning numerous awards, having glowing reviews, and still appearing on Game Journalist's list of best.
So it's so interesting to hear about that for like sequels and stuff because either a sequel will be a hit and will actually smash the numbers, or it'll just kind of be like, damn, this shit kind of mid, this shit kind of poopy, this shit kind of bad. Like examples that I can give, for example, like a good like experience like of Notion is like a lot of people love like I think a lot of people love certain Harry Potter movies, but then they made more and more and more, and it was just like, all right. But that one's a lot more than just one sequel. But the point being is, one did really good, and then a couple other ones didn't do that great. Like they've all done good, but like it's like how they're received, right? And then for example, like another example that's like the opposite of that is GTA 4 was loved. Everybody loved GTA 4. GTA 5 dropped, and everybody loved GTA 5. Red Dead 1, people love Red Dead 2. It's either a hit or a miss, it's either love or hate. Like there's no like in between for sequels.
Games of all time, even today.
Maybe in your own opinion, but in like the
success, Toys for
over
Bob wasn't interested in developing a third
the
game,
overlay, like
and
the
eventually released the game
like
as
the maybe in your own opinion you may not like it, but in the widespread opinion, it's like either hate or love.
open source, so fans could port it to modern
Oh, that's so
devices on their own
cool.
accord.
Open source.
The studio made some other unique titles over the years, such as The Horde, Pandemonium, and The Unholy War. In short, Toys for Bob was quickly becoming a well-established game development studio, and things were going relatively well. But the team at Toys for Bob wanted more, and the lucrative business of licensed games started to catch their attention. They needed more than just another modest success to keep the studio afloat, so they struck a deal and got to work on Disney's 102 Dalmatians, Puppies to the Rescue.
Oh yeah, I
Following
know this
they
game.
worked on 2003's Disney Extreme Skate.
Oh my god, yo, who knows about Extreme Skate? Who knows about Extreme Skate Adventure? That was the banger of bangerist banger to be known back in 2003. The year I was born, by the way. But the point is, this was a fire game, bro. I played this on my PS2 and I loved the out of it, bro. I remember just grinding, playing as Woody, just having fun with my cousin. Like we would just do there was like horse in it, like a similar sense. Dude, this game was so fun, dude. Oh my god, that makes me reminisce, bro. Holy dude. I would switch between my PlayStation 2, my Nintendo 64, my Xbox, and Xbox 360, bro. That is wild, dude. Oh my god, that touched my soul, bro. Holy. If you know, you know.
Adventure and 2005's Madagascar, the game. Their last 2 titles were developed
Never
in
played that.
collaboration with Activision, so when the company courted Toys for Bob, they were interested. Someone pitched the idea
gives it a
of
lot of,
incorporating
like,
toy figures into
ideas.
a video game. Wong went to the laboratory to see what he could do,
Oh.
and he kept returning to concepts of monster-like characters, which the rest of the team adored.
I also love that. Just from the initial concept of, dude, I cannot let go of like this monster idea of like creating monster figurines in a game. Like that seems so cool. I would love that.
And fortunately for the team, another employee, Robert Leyland, enjoyed tinkering with electronics.
Oh
while
my
searching for
God,
ways
they're
to utilize
cooking!
Yue Wong's work, Leyland created what would later become the Power Portal with RFID technology. The team didn't know it yet, but they had just conceptualized their smash hit.
Having Spyro in the mix definitely helped their game a lot. I will say though, they did butcher my man Spyro, or Spyro was a dude, right? I don't know.
While all of this was going on, Activision underwent some major changes in 2008 as it and Vivendi merged into Activision Blizzard.
I love Activision.
This led them to acquiring IPs like World of Warcraft, Crash Bandicoot, and Spyro.
Oh,
As a result,
Spyro.
they let Toys for Bob pick a franchise that they wanted to work on for their next title. So, for 6 months, the studio shifted their focus away from this new toy project to a new Spyro game, attempting an edgier take on the franchise. But unfortunately, it wasn't working well, and the team felt it just wasn't Spyro.
Yeah,
As they went back to the drawing
valid.
board, Activision encouraged the studio to try something more unique.
Oh, wow.
and innovative. So they revisited the idea of toys coming to life in a game
Low-key
and
Activision
decided
was
to
good then? What the
incorporate
hell?
Spyro into their original toy project as a way to pitch the idea to Activision. Plus, Activision's connections enabled them to secure Hans Zimmer to write the main theme for the game, and Toy Story's writers, Alec Sokolow and
Holy
Cohen,
crap!
to write the story. But
The story was actually pretty fire too, by the way.
perfect circumstances, the project was incredibly ambitious, and corners
Oh,
would
of
inevitably
course.
have to be cut to meet the deadlines. At least,
Of
that's what
course,
the team
by the way, sorry.
suspected. As we all know, large game publishers are notorious for cutting costs
I
and
miss
forcing
this
developers to do
game.
double the work with less money and harder deadlines.
I
They
miss this
always
game.
needed more. But oddly enough, when the team at Toys for Bob presented the game to Activision, something completely unexpected happened. For perhaps the first time in corporate history, the CEO of Activision was the first person to insist that they spend another year of development on the
Hype!
project.
Oh my God, we need more game companies to do that, bro. Take your goddamn time releasing games, especially back in the day because updates weren't as easy. People talk as though updates didn't exist back then. I'm pretty positive updates existed on Xbox 360 on a daily basis. Like,
Toys for Bob couldn't have gotten better news. Not only did this decision
dude,
result
oh,
in
stealth
cheaper
out there
products,
she is,
but it allowed for
baby.
additional functionalities to be
We
added
beat
to
this
the
game. This game was
toys.
lit, bro.
Instead of just reading data, the Portal of Power could now write data, allowing the toys to carry information between devices. Now, your Skylanders would retain their upgrades at a friend's house, whereas before, your figures were functionally identical to a newly store-bought one. It personalized your toy collection in a way that no other game had ever done before. But how is the public going to respond to something so unique and different like Skylanders?
Loved it.
I like it when
I
things are
loved
different
it.
in gaming, especially when a game goes
Gives you a
above
new
and
concept.
beyond to
Dying Light
release
2 is
updates that truly
crazy to
stand
show.
out. I've been a longtime fan of Techland, the developers of Dying Light 2, and the sponsor of this
Dying
video
Light-
for
oh,
years
okay.
now, and their content updates are always impressive.
They do good content updates, and the new game is really good. The Beast one, this was before that released. But yeah, so this was almost 2 years ago. That's crazy.
October 13th, 2011, where the game was met with open arms and wallets. Skylanders was presented as an action RPG with platforming elements, with the gimmick being its large cast of playable characters.
Yup.
Each character could only be played if you owned the corresponding toy figure.
Yup.
When you wanted to play as them, you would take the figure and place it on the
And
portal
they gave
of
you
power
starters,
that comes
though.
with the game. This changes your character on the go at any time, with each of them having unique skills and upgrades to unlock. The game featured a variety of puzzles, such as the tilt lock puzzles, although the emphasis was generally placed on combat and exploration.
Stealth
The
out!
first game featured 32 different Skylanders. You started with 3 when buying. In all, the first game featured 32.
Okay, so I had Stealth Elf, I had Bow Girl, don't remember her name. I think I had this guy with the sword. I think I had this tree guy. I had this with the blue guy, I had the rocket guy, I had this guy, had the fire guy, I had the dinosaur, I had the green guy, had the electric thunder guy. I was hyped to get him. Had the little guy. I don't know if it's random packs you get. I'm pretty sure I had this like this eagle or this hawk thing. Not 100% sure. and I had like all the basics. So
2 different Skylanders. You started with 3 when buying the game. At launch, each figure could be bought for $8 individually or 3 together for $20.
yup, that shit always seemed so
it took
expensive to
over
me though when I was a kid.
$180 to buy all of the characters in addition to the $70 game, without even including extra
Was it
add-ons or
70?
special editions of the figures. There was also one of 8 elements,
Yeah,
associated with
elements.
each Skylander, with the mechanic functioning similar to Pokemon.
And you needed them to access certain things in the game, which was annoying, but it also gave it like a very unique style. I don't think it was bad. It was expensive,
if you didn't have
but
at least one Skylander of each element, certain sections of the game would be a bit more difficult, encouraging players to purchase more than just these starting Skylanders. Playing physical DLC
I thought it was
that
sick.
targeted children with pay-to-play elements, and a lot of it at
I was a
that.
kid at the time,
You can see
loved
this
it.
at a
I don't know.
glance by comparing the ratio of
My parents weren't
Skylanders
loaded
negative
either.
reviews.
True.
In only a few months, over 30 million toys were sold, making it the #1 action figure line at the time, and Activision's most
Kinda
successful
valid, though. It
IP
was
launch at the
good.
time. So
People
of
buy
course,
fucking
a year
action
later,
figures,
on
man, like-
October 17th, 2012, came Skylanders
What's the-
Giants.
Oh, this is the one
It
I
was a
played. I
sequel
played this one
with a
too.
few new gimmicks, such as the new giant Skylanders with exclusive
Yup.
abilities, but overall, it was
I didn't
just
play this
more
one as much,
content
but
to feed
yeah.
the demand and generate more revenue for Activision. A similar light glow line was also introduced that glowed in the dark and had an
Never
exclusive
knew about
tag.
that one. Oh,
In all, there were 24 of these
My bad.
special giants.
I think I
And
had some of
despite
them.
the fact that older Skylanders still worked with the sequel, the monetization became more aggressive when new versions of them were introduced in a Series 2 line, which were slightly stronger. Like the first game in the franchise, Giants proved to be another monstrous
I
financial
don't know if I played the
success,
first
bringing in
one.
$195
No, I did.
million in a few months, with the franchise as a whole totaling to $500 million in sales in little over a year of
That
existence.
is actually unreal.
I can't downplay the scale of the Skylanders franchise.
It was amazing. It
These
got a
numbers
lot
are
of notoriety.
So of course, Activision wanted more. But before the
Pushing
next
too
entry in the
hard.
franchise could come out, a new Toys to Life game was gearing up for a release.
Is it Infinity?
Hoping to capitalize on the
Is it
success
Infinity?
that Skylanders saw
Is it
and
Infinity?
overthrow Activision for their #1 spot. Disney Infinity would hit the shelf.
Nah,
And it had the
Nah.
massive advantage of pre-existing Disney.
this was lit. This game was, my God. Skylanders, in my opinion, low-key better just because like originality and it was really good. But this was so fun, so unique, so cool. You could customize your own place. They had a creative mode. There was so much like into it that I really, really, really loved and enjoyed. And all the Disney characters. I actually got this game in the hospital because I was sick my birthday week. And I ended up getting this in the hospital. I left something at the hospital that had to do with the game that was pretty important. I was really upset about it, which sucked. And I had also gotten sick. Like, it was one of the worst sicknesses I've ever got in my entire life, with my lips becoming really, really big and inflamed, really fat, and just people refer to me as I look like a bunny rabbit, I guess, or a duck or whatever. But my friends and stuff, but I could only drink through a straw using my teeth. I had to close my teeth on the straw in order to drink. They had no idea what was wrong with me, and yeah, it was pretty wild. And then I ended up getting gifts because it was my birthday week. People came and visited me. I was in there for a week, so it was pretty rough. Hit or miss. I would wake up in so much pain. I would have to wake up in the morning and I'd have to peel my lips apart. It's pretty gross, pretty graphic. I can get worse. Obviously my lips were really bad. I don't remember if at one point my eyes were also sealed shut. Because I wasn't also able to be hydrated. They had no idea what was wrong with me. I don't remember what they said it was, to be honest, but I also had to peel my eyes open because they were crusted over. Dude, it was rough. At first, especially when I wasn't in the hospital and I was getting no hydration because I couldn't really drink because it hurt to close my lips. They hurt to even touch them, and they had no idea what was wrong with me, man. They literally had no idea. But when I was in my room before going to the hospital, like I was saying, I would have to do this, and it was just I was in my room, bro. It was just I was in my room peeling my eyes open and peeling my lips apart, and they were just ripping and pus was just pouring. So yeah, it's gross. It's fucking disgusting. But yeah, and then I got Infinity and I was super happy because I really wanted this game, and I went home, played it, and yeah, it was fire. It was a great game, and it was definitely worth the wait. But yeah, it's just funny that co-aligns with that story.
Of course, the game itself was met with wildly varying reviews. IGN gave it an 8.7 out of 10, praising the campaigns called playsets, the sandbox mode's expansive possibilities, and how much content was available with only the starter
It
pack.
was a great game.
On the other hand, Games Radar gave it a 2.5 out of 5, noting a plethora of bugs and glitches, and found that the playsets all suffered from a bloat of filler content.
Fair.
Still, even the harshest critics agreed that the toys were of good quality.
Yeah, no,
which is
the toys were great, and the abilities of each character were awesome. The unique mounts were sick. The ability to customize your own base and create like parkour maps or have fun.
And like
it was a good game.
Collectible would cost players hundreds of dollars, with even more merchandise to come.
But there were a lot of
characters. To sell
characters.
294,000 copies in only 2 weeks. By the time the Skylanders entry was released, Disney Infinity had sold over 1 million copies.
Yeah, Swap Force was a cool idea, but
this was a relief to Disney, which spent $100 million making the game. How much longer could consumers keep up with such an expensive genre?
Yeah.
On October 13th, 2013, Skylanders Swap Force released.
It just gets too much when you release too many games and don't just update your original game.
Where Toys for Bob and Vicarious Visions would spend 2 years on each game, staggering the releases so that they still came out annually.
I don't know why you would
Force,
make
Vicarious
so
Visions
many.
had only been responsible for the ports of Skylanders games to other consoles.
Give it more time, like wait more time, in my
frankly,
opinion.
They hit it out of the park. The special mechanic of this entry revolved around Skylanders with interchangeable top and bottom halves, allowing
I will say that it's cool, but like I would wait until like I don't know, like doing it so fast, man.
Players to create unique builds to play with.
Because people are still playing the other games, buying characters.
Mechanic, in addition to strong level design, would make it the strongest entry of the series.
Should, right? Potentially, yeah.
They also mixed things up with the plot by introducing a new villain instead of
I didn't play this one. I don't know this one.
Chaos from past entries.
Chaos! I love him.
Of course, this entry was another gargantuan financial success, being the 6th most profitable game in the winter of 2013, with Giants being the 4th most profitable.
Wow.
At this point, the Skylanders franchise had generated over $2 billion in just 2 years, and it didn't seem like it was going to decline anytime
Even
soon.
if it does decline, they should be fine.
However, a small crack in the franchise appeared in Swap Force. The Skystones minigame that was present in Giants was completely absent in this game. While not a significant issue by any means, this marked the first time that every prior mechanic couldn't return in a sequel. And this would become increasingly common as new gimmicks were introduced with each release. It was only a matter of time before the old would be left behind in favor of the new in sequels, potentially alienating fans who spent hundreds of dollars on toys that only worked in the old games.
Oh, dude, this is like the fucking Call of Duty Warzone thing, bro, where you buy all the skins, you spend thousands of dollars to use your skins and have those skins, and then they rip those skins out of your hand, out of your pocket, all that money you spent, you get nothing back, you get nothing. They create the same exact game, update it a little bit, change a little bit of things, make it worse, to be honest, and then you lose all your skins and have to buy them all again. Like, what the worst marketing decision I've ever heard of.
But it didn't stop Activision from continuing this rapidly evolving cycle. It was time for yet another Skylanders game. However, before the next year's annual Skylanders title could release, Nintendo announced a new product that was in the works at E3 2014.
Amiibo.
This new Toys to Life title would coincide with the release of Super Smash
Bros.
4.
I mean, Amiibo's kind of weird. Amiibo's lame. It's not as cool.
Products, Nintendo generally provided
but
small
they probably got
games
hella money
so
for
that
it.
Players without the Amiibo toys wouldn't miss out on much. This also encouraged people to collect Amiibo for its own sake, instead of doing it solely for the digital content in the game.
That is valid, though.
And this strategy proved to be highly successful.
Because it's
so
by
much so
choice.
That the product became infamous for its constant shortages, rampant scalping, and poor communication from Nintendo.
Wow.
It was unclear if Nintendo was deliberately understocking products, if certain Amiibo were limited runs, or if other factors were halting production. But that didn't change the fact that
Makes
they
it
were
even more wanted.
a lot of cash, putting even more pressure on Skylanders.
Makes it even more wanted.
Could Activision maintain their
It's also a decision. Like, you have to decide to buy that. You don't need to buy. I never bought an Amiibo.
Pinox released Skylanders Trap Team.
I do not know this one at
all. Mechanic revolved around
never heard of this one.
They dealt extra damage against villains and could use traps to capture villains to play as if the player had a trap of the corresponding element. Quite positively, with a general consensus that it was another height of the series.
Wow.
But the formula was really beginning to stagnate and in
dire need. It's like, bruh, you need more than just this, dog.
Any fatigue or
it's like if you play something so much, like, and it's like the same game, it just becomes the point of like, brother, there's no innovation here. Like, it's like if you were playing Grand Theft Auto, right? And they just, like, for Grand Theft Auto, all they did was change the city. Infinity. That's it. No, bro. They had to innovate all of new mechanics. In every single game you play, there is new stuff. There is new stuff to enjoy. There is a new story. Everything about it is new. It's fun. It's different. It's different characters. It's different storyline. It's a different concept. It's a different reasoning for your certain aspect of what you're doing. Different crime. Different things that you're proceeding to do. Online mode is crazy. Online mode is different than the other one. Like, they're just doing more instead of just, okay, we add some new things, but we take out all the old things. No, GTA 5 did new things and kept the old things that were good. Same with all the other games.
From Disney Infinity, Activision claimed that Trap Team was still the 5th best-selling title of 2014 and the best-selling kids game of that entire year. The Skylanders franchise was still absolutely killing it for Activision.
I did not buy this one.
September 20th, 2015, Superchargers released. This time
they've released another one?
And for the first time ever, the newest entry to the Skylanders series was met with relatively low reception. As the name implies, the gimmick for this entry was the introduction of vehicles, which once again were a new collectible item, and once again, yet another toy that players needed to purchase in order to use in the games.
Oh my god, it should just come with the character.
Because vehicles led to racing sections being added into something that was predominantly a combat action-oriented game. It seemed forced, and because of this
is dumb.
Superchargers lower than any other mainline title to date. And
yeah,
to make matters worse, the annual releases finally caught up with the developers. Corners had to be cut somewhere, and this time they removed the playable villains that acted as the main selling point from the last title. So now, not only did you
What are you doing?
Skylanders to use,
they said, nah, that game did good. Hey, let's take that entire concept out. You guys bought all that? Nah, let's cut that. You're just making me, like, if I had the game earlier to this game, like the one before this, and then I bought this game, I'm like, bro, I'm not, like, I would see this game, and I'm like, am I able to use my villains? No? Okay, I'm not playing this game.
Use the new features.
Simple as that.
But you also could no longer use the traps that you went out of your way to buy to play the new feature added in the last game. Not to mention,
what was the
other
point?
Features like the arena modes and Chaos Doom challenges also failed to return, alienating many fans even further.
Bro!
The series was clearly growing too quickly for its own good.
But you had so much viability because you could use Donkey Kong and Bowser. Like, I also think that, like, adding other characters from certain IPs is super cool and all, but adding too many makes it to the point where you're like, well, this isn't Skylanders anymore. This is just Smash Bros, or this is just Nintendo Nintendolanders, or Sky Endo. Like, you know what I mean? It's just a copy and paste, just with like those like characters, which is cool. But like, it's like, the cool thing about Skylanders for me specifically was the characters that had never been seen before. Like, yeah, it was cool to see some characters, like to add like little cameos, or to add like characters you could use. Like, for example, Bowser was in this and Donkey Kong, but if there's more than just them, like, yeah, it's too much. But also, I'd like to say that like, why would you buy this game? Why would you make this decision? Why would you do this? You guys have already had such successful games. Just take your time on the next game. Chill. Wait like 2 to 3 to 4 years and make a freaking goated one so people can save their money, play the old ones, enjoy the old ones, and then just everybody's like, oh my god, they're dropping into the Skylanders. Oh my god. Yes, yes, yes. Like Skyrim, Fallout, Red Dead, GTA, Borderlands. Wait a certain amount of time so people can be excited for the next game.
And longtime fans of Skylanders
movie
were
shows do
upset.
this. Like, damn, bro.
And as for the sales figures, they had also finally begun to plummet. Activision didn't give exact numbers, but stated that Superchargers performed weaker than expected, citing greater competition in the Toys to Life genre.
No, it's just because y'all made an ass game.
Was the newly released Lego Dimensions. Yet another Toys to Life game that left Superchargers and Disney Infinity 3.0 in the dust. Still, Dimensions failed to reach the same heights of the Skylanders' heyday. Was this a sign that the Toys to Life genre was finally drying up? That answer would come sooner rather than later, as on May 10th, 2016, Disney announced that Avalanche Studios, Disney Infinity, would be shut down entirely, and the entire franchise would be laid to rest.
Whoa.
While it meant less competition for Skylanders and Lego Dimensions, it didn't exactly bode well for them either.
Yeah.
Then, on October 13th, 2016, Skylanders Imaginators hit the shelves.
That looks fire, by the way.
This entry went back to Toys for Bob and revolved around the ability to create your own original Skylanders.
That's kind of sick.
And rather than creating figures to facilitate this, the parts could be earned in-game via randomized crates, with additional crates available for purchase.
Oh,
in other words, the game had loot boxes. IGN found the practice to be quite predatory, as it was possible to
Yeah.
accidentally access the storefront when opening crates at the end of missions, pressuring
That's
kids to purchase more of
rough.
them.
That's
This code
kind of
also didn't
greedy,
work on
bro.
regular Skylanders, yet again limiting its usefulness
Yikes.
and alienating players who spend hundreds of dollars on past toys. Overall, it felt like the pay-to-play
GGs.
elements were stronger than
You
ever
wrapped
before,
that shit,
and the
yeah.
sales of the game were
They wrapped
pitiful,
that up
only
in a
reaching
fucking
66,000
gift box and said,
minutes in the first month. This would be the
GG's.
first time in the series
Only, by
that
the way, just wanna
Activision
say
didn't
that.
mention a Skylanders game in their winter quarterly report.
Good, they shouldn't.
And because of this financial flop and the decline,
They should drop another one soon, though. That would be the best decision.
Skylanders series,
One that isn't
Activision
greedy.
decided not to release a sequel the following year, and Vicarious Visions, the other half of the Skylanders team, was quietly reassigned to work on Destiny. It seemed eerily similar to Activision's handling of the Guitar Hero franchise. Deny that
Just
the
letting
series
it
was
go,
cancelled
yeah.
and insist that it's just a hiatus, despite the writing on the wall. A Switch port of Imaginators released in March to coincide with the launch of the console, presumably to recoup losses and gauge series interest. But given that Activision's uneasy silence continued, it likely didn't succeed. When 2018's winter report rolled around, all mentions of Skylanders had been completely scrubbed. when in
Activision gotta be
past
one of the
years it was
dumbest
touted as
companies,
one of
though.
their all-time greats.
Hog
The
Rider!
message was clear. Activision was done with Skylanders.
I never heard
So
of this
at
game.
this point,
Ever.
Disney Infinity was canceled, LEGO Dimensions was canceled, and Skylanders faded into the background to never be mentioned.
It could
again
low-key
from
come out
Activision
again, though.
or anyone
This could
else
happen one more
involved.
time.
Skylanders suffered the same fate of many IPs under the hand of Activision, an oversaturated
Dude, I love.
market.
Oh, yeah, no, it was so bad. That is insane, brother. And this was in a span of what, 7 years? Like, that is ridiculous, dude. That is crazy. You are so greedy, brother. You do this, then you wait. Do this. Do another game later, bro. They should have done this. Then they should have rode that, done this. And then they should have been, okay, we have a really cool idea to do this. And then they should have waited until they had another cool idea, which this one didn't do as bad. This one didn't do bad. But they could have done, like, waited, bro. Like, if they just waited, man.
Each year introduced a new mainline title, spin-offs, and dozens of expensive figurines. The later games failed to shake things up, and towards the end, you couldn't even guarantee the figures would work in the next game.
Also, not being able to use your old figurines from the other ones is ridiculous.
Factoring in the competition from Disney Infinity, Amiibo, and LEGO Dimensions at a time that the franchise was already starting to stagnate with fans,
That's crazy.
it's easy to see how players couldn't keep up. It not only led to the collapse
Amiibo
of
is still
Skylanders,
alive.
but the entire Toys to Life genre. The studio behind Skylanders,
Well-
Toys for Bob, has gone to work on the Spyro Reignited trilogy, Crash Bandicoot 4, and Crash Team Rumble.
Oh, so they're still killing it.
In 2021, the CEOs and founders of the company, Fred Ford and Paul Reach, decided to leave the studio to go form Pistol Shrimp and finally create a sequel to Star Control 2.
Hell yeah.
It's called Freestar.
I feel like that shit banged.
Children of Infinity, due to Accolade owning the rights to the name Star Control, and the game is still in development. It had a Kickstarter on April 16th, 2024.
I'm gonna guess it earned 1.5
asking
million.
for $100,000
Oh.
and received over 680.
Oh, I was actually close,
Meanwhile,
though.
after Microsoft's buyout
I was 500k out, like 700k. I was like a million off.
of Activision in February of 2024,
Wait, what happened?
80,000. Meanwhile, after Microsoft's buyout of Activision in February of 2024, 86 employees from Toys for Bob were laid off and the office was shut down. This prompted the studio to go indie a month
Damn, thank God they left.
later, where they're currently working on an unannounced title. The only remnant
I'm not gonna lie. I fuck with indies more than I fuck with mainstream games right now, though.
entire Toys to Life era in gaming are Amiibos, which are still going strong and are
Oh,
still
yeah.
as understocked as ever. Their strategy to focus on the physical product rather than the
This is
digital
2 years ago,
goods
though, by the way,
aspect
guys.
served them well. Did you ever play any of the Skylanders games? What was your experience with them?
Great, loved
Did
them.
you play the other titles like Disney Infinity or
Yep.
LEGO Dimensions?
Nope. I played Disney Infinities, like I said. Loved it. Very fun game. Very, very, very fun, especially if you had somebody to play with. And I also played Skylanders, and I loved both of them. I do think Skylanders was personally a better game. I do think the IP of Disney was definitely the main thing for Infinity and the customization that you had access to. The main story and missions were kind of mid and bleh, but customization and the abilities that the characters had made it very fun to fight enemies because each character had an ability that related to them. So Pirates Caribbean, he moved in a certain way, he jumped in a way that he had like abilities that rotated towards his character design, of course, it being Jack Sparrow, and then characters from, and there are other characters, of course, from certain IPs, like Monsters Inc. had Mike and Sully, or other characters from other ones. But then Skylanders, I think, was just the first of the first, and it was just my favorite. I don't know if that's due to the game being better than Infinity, or just due to the factor that it's really like reminiscent in my mind, and it's got a very good nostalgia to it. So yeah, I just loved the Giants and the first Skylanders. They were both phenomenal games that I really enjoyed playing with my cousin and just playing by myself.
In the comments.
Let me know what you guys think,
if
though.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel.
Listen
and
to
don't
him.
forget to check out my episode on Guitar Hero, which will be linked in the description.
Listen to him. WW Robocast. This guy is dope as hell. Go check him out. Go watch the original video, link down below, and let me know your guys the same exact opinions that he asked in the comments down below for my video, and then go link the same comments into his video. You know what I mean? Yeah, yo. I'm just saying though, Skylanders was the shit. Infinity was the shit. Like, those games were beautifully crafted. I didn't play Dimensions personally, but I think all the games were done good and done well. I think it just became too expensive, as most things do, and that just led to the downfall. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys all later. Check the description down below for different links, different aspects of my channel and who I am. And yeah, let's move on to the next video, guys. Live on Twitch, by the way.